All right. Today we're talking about mixing and mastering. Zach, what's happening, brother? Nice to see ya. So we're gonna go through one of my original tunes, and I'm gonna give you some tips on recording guitar. So let's flip the camera around for a minute, show you what I'm seeing. We're gonna do this lo-fi today. And yeah, we're gonna talk about how to make your guitar recordings pop, how to make them sound big, and things like how to pan your guitars, using these mastering tools here, the MultiPresser, spread, limiting, compression, all that kind of shit. But yeah, so this is my new single, Anarchy. And yeah, Jesus, this one took me like 3 weeks to record. It's a lot of work, a lot of guitar tracks. So Zach, do you record your music? Yeah, there we go. Bridge number 2. Things are getting intense. So, okay, what I do to start with my guitar tracks, so here's some guitar tracks down here, is you take your rhythm guitars and you pan them hard left and right. So you see like audio 2 here, audio track number 2 is panned all the way to the left. That's the panning function. And then audio track number 3 is panned all the way to the right. And you record each of those tracks separately. This is not a copy and paste thing. You've got to like record one track, do a whole nother take, and then, like I said, pan one of them hard left, hard right. This is the standard way to record metal. It's what gives you that big, wide stereo sound. Nice and punchy. And if you don't do that, if you just have one track going up the middle, the effect is just not nearly as good. Let's hear that. So if you do one, obviously you're listening, to this through your inferior smartphone speakers, so it's not going to be the greatest. But here's one track going up the center. And then if we did 2 tracks panned hard left and right, all of a sudden you got this sound coming from all the way over here, all the way over there, and it sounds way wider, deeper, heavier. Everything is better. So that's the first tip for recording guitars, is panning them hard left and right. So my recording path is pretty simple. I use an Axe FX 2, which is a digital preamp modeler, and that goes straight into my computer. So there's no microphones involved. Even though I've got a mic in front of my amplifier there, I don't actually use that for recording electric guitar. That black box up there, the Axe FX 2, that's the sound you're hearing in this recording, and that just goes through USB into the back of my iMac Apple computer here that I use to record. So it's a really simple setup, really simple process. Okay, so let's see, what else? What else do we want to do here? We've got mixing and mastering tools. To get like a big mastering sound, you've got to use limiting and compression. Limiting is basically similar to compression, except that when you put a limiter on your recording, it literally cuts off frequencies over a certain decibel rate. So this is the way you get your recordings loud and punchy. whereas compression, you know, is more of a soft condensing of the high and the low frequencies, or more audio volumes, you know, and it's more of a gentle thing, whereas limiting just cuts off decibels over a certain rate. And that's the way you get your recordings loud. So let's have a look at the limiter that I'm using here. These are all my mastering tools. You can hear, like, if I show you this recording with the mastering tools on, it sounds like this. Now with them off, sounds like that. On, off. It's like really muddy and lackluster without them on. Nice and bright and punchy with the tools on. So the limiter that I'm using is called an adaptive limiter here. And there it is. And you want to set your output ceiling to -0.1 on your limiter. That basically means that it cuts off frequencies just before it distorts. So if you had it set at 0, that's distorting, so that's not doing you any good. But you set it just a hair below that, -0.1, and you're going to cut off the decibels that are just below that clipping rate, right? You don't want that clipping sound. Clipping sounds like this when you just sounded fuzzy. And it's breaking up. So you want to keep that low enough there. My gain is at 1.9. All right, so that's your limiter. And like I said, that's the way you get your recordings loud and punchy. Super important. All right, so I'm using individual compression on the tracks here. So like, for instance, if you take the bass here, and whoops, that's EQ. So here's my compressor for the bass, and I'm not using really extreme compression here. This is only reducing about 3 dBs, -3 dBs at the max. You know, hardcore compression goes, you know, well beyond that. So just some light compression, which also helps with getting your volume high. What else do we got here? So we've got the MultiPresser. This is probably one of the most important tools, if not the most important tool, to making your recording sound huge. So this compresses frequencies over the spectrum. You've got you know, your low frequencies over here, and you got your low mids, your 1K to 5K, and then super high stuff, 10K to 20K there. And you can see the compression working here. That's what it sounds like without it on, with it on, without it on. Huge difference. The idea with this tool is you want to, like I said, compress each frequency band. So if I took like 20 hertz to 100 hertz here, which is the low frequency, that's with the tool off. So I'm going to reset the settings here. We're just going to go through this real quick. Recall whoops, hold on a minute. Call default. Okay, so now it's settings are reset. And what you want to do basically is get this compression. I do it at about -5, which is right here. So let's go ahead and compress that. We take the compressor here, we drop that down until it starts to hit about 5. That's good. Now we compress the signal about 10 dBs, so that means we've got to add that gain makeup. It should be at 0. Why is everything? It should be reset. Okay. Let's reset this again, actually. Call default. Why is that not resetting? Well, let's do this manually. So 0.0. All right, so as I said, we're going to get that down to about -5. Press that here. There we go. And then, yeah, we add in the gain makeup here, right there, which is the amount we compressed it by. So this level started at 15, went to about 23. So let's go up about 8. There we go. Okay, now let's move to the next band here. Okay, we want to get that line down to -5. And here we go. Compress it. Let's see what happens. There we go. We're at about -5. Mark, what's happening, brother? Nice to see you. I think you saw some of this yesterday. Okay, so our gain makeup here, we went from 15 to about 23 again, so that's another 8 dBs. So add our gain makeup in. There we go. Moving to the next band. This is 1K to 5K. Set that level. This is where things start to really pop and come out. And let's see, so we're going down, getting that -5. There we go. So we went about 10, compressed the level about 10 from 15 to 25. And so we're going up 10, yeah. Okay, last band. The high frequencies. So that's what it sounds like with just the high frequency soloed. All right. And we're gonna compress this again until it gets to about -5. Whoa. There we go. That's like 15, 20 dBs of compression. That's a lot of compression. Let's just do that. All right, so there we go. So again, without the tool, it's got that dark, muddy sound. You turn it on and it comes to life. A little too much on the highs there. All right, so that's the MultiPresser. MultiPresser is a very powerful tool. And let's see, anything else? Mark, you have any questions if you're still here on mixing, mastering, recording guitar? Since I think you're the only one here. Let's see here. Any questions on recording? I also do a couple other small things, but at the end of the day, you want your recordings loud and punchy. Like that. Boom. Alright, thanks for tuning in, everybody. The silent YouTubers. Loud recordings, mixing and mastering.